All right, guys, these are my top mistakes I see from buyers during a housing crash or housing slowdown. I don't think there's a crash right now. I just think it's kind of slowed and readjusted. But I want to talk about buyers' mistake during a slowdown when it's a great opportunity to buy and buyers just continue to be uncertain. They second guess themselves. There's a lot of factors involved when it comes to buyers and the mistakes that they make. And I think it has to do with inexperienced buyers. And I want to talk about that briefly. Just going to name a few items that I see on a regular basis. And sometimes I have to walk away from people that just don't listen to me, and maybe I'll give you a story here in a second. The first reason is they just wait too long. They think that the bottom is never going to be there and they could have a prime opportunity to pick up a great investment property or a good primary or a piece of land that they can develop on later, triple their price later on a piece of land. Land is amazing to buy, especially if it's in the center of town. They just wait too long. They just keep waiting and waiting and waiting. It's like the stock market, right? Keep waiting. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a calculated risk, but if there's a really good deal in front of you, you got to take it. So the first mistake I see is buyers wait too long, especially if it's a buyer that's buying a luxury property. I deal a lot in luxury. They walk into a house, and remember, luxury is luxury. It's not cookie cutter. There's not 5 more of these things, on the same street. Luxury is a different animal, right? So in saying that, they find something. I know I had a specific buyer. He was a tech guy, and he came in and he was like, oh my God, I love this house. It's perfect, but keep seeing all these other things on social media. Social media is like the death of me and buyers because they just watch too much on things that are already gone or whatever. They just wait too long. I had this tech buyer and he walked in. It was like probably 5.5 million, perfect views of the city, beautiful pool, infinity edge pool, just amazing house. The people just had to move. They're moving back to the East Coast, and it was just a really good fit. And he passed, and he waited too long, and he lost it. And we kept searching and searching for the next 6 months, and he regretted it because he couldn't find anything like that home that he really loved because he thought there was the BBD, which is the bigger, better deal. And he passed, and he screwed himself. But we ended up finding him something that he loved. He didn't love it as much. To this day, he still calls me and says, I wish we would have got that house. So you got to go for it. You got to go for it. Second thing is, you listen to the wrong people. If you're talking to people that aren't in real estate investment, and you're asking for their advice, probably not the best option to ask someone that's not in real estate investments or isn't in real estate on a day-to-day basis to get advice on buying during a market that is in a slowdown. You want to try and get to the answer, or maybe you've already formulated the answer in your head and you're just trying to reaffirm it from a bunch of people around you, and they end up giving bad advice. Also, there's a lot of agents out there and even financial investors that are just very cookie cutter as well, and they can't see past their face. I mean, they have no foresight. They don't know what's coming. They don't know the developments that are happening in their area. They don't know the developments that are being proposed at city council in their area. So they have no idea what's coming. And that's going to really kill you as a buyer because you're using an advisor or an agent that has no idea what's happening in the city. I have a property right now downtown telling a buyer, you need to buy this and put your drive-through here because this is what's happening downtown. This development, that development, this development, that development. You need to be able to have the foresight to see 3 years in the future and say, this is going to be an amazing investment. You're going to crush it. When all these hotels and apartments are built and all this other stuff, you need to know what's going on. So you're listening to the wrong people. That's number 2. The last thing is you miss out on a good opportunity. A good opportunity could be just staring you in the face, and for some reason you're just so freaked out that it's just not going to work, or it's not going to be the best, or maybe the market continues to drop, or maybe the president does this, or maybe this, or maybe that. And you talk yourself out of it, and you miss out on an extremely amazing opportunity. This has happened to buyers of mine more than once, more than 10 times, more than 100 times, and they always come back and they say, Nate, I should have listened to you. And I understand, I get paid on commission, so they probably think I'm just trying to get a commission. I could care less about that commission. I really want my clients to get a good deal, and I think they need to trust in my experience to say, hey, this is going to be a good deal. And granted, if something happens 3 years from now, we're in World War III, I can't predict that, or I can't predict other certain things, but I do know what's going on in Vegas and San Diego, that's for sure. And if I'm telling you this is a good deal, this is a good deal, and you need to 1000% jump on it, hands down. Listen to what I'm telling you. I have so much experience. I've made so many mistakes. Trust me when I'm telling you, you do not want to miss out on an opportunity that is screaming value, that is underpriced, and you crush it on, whether it be a year from now or 3 years from now. The last thing is stop watching social media. It is the worst when it comes to me and dealing with people that watch social media, whether it be sellers, investors, whether it be buyers, developers. Oh my God, there are so many scams out there when it comes to social media. I have a buyer right now, kind of a buyer. We might not be working together. He's a first-time home buyer. He's an entrepreneur. He wants to buy a fourplex with 3.5% down FHA, which he can do, and he wants to be downtown. So I showed him some really great spots downtown. Obviously, fourplexes in downtown are going to need some work. They're going to need some love. He's like, oh, I keep seeing these guys on TikTok that are going to, you can only put 5% down, and it's a construction loan. You can knock down the whole building and build it from the ground up construction 5%. I go, that's impossible. That is impossible. The cheapest money when it comes to at least a business or building a business or building real estate when it comes to a business is SBA, and that's 10 to 15% down. When it comes to primary residence or secondary residence or whatever, you're talking about a construction loan, you're looking at 35, 40, maybe even 50% down. That's what it is. That's what it is. And he kept sending me these TikTok guys. So he ended up setting up a meeting with this TikTok guy. And I said, I want to be in that meeting. And we got in that meeting on a Zoom call. And I asked the guy that was giving the presentation, I go, I want to be able to record this. Matter of fact, I should post that video and call these people out for their bull. And I said, look, what are we talking about? He said, yeah, it's 5% down, ground up construction, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, this includes the offsite, the onsite costs, the hard costs, the soft costs. This includes, architecturals, engineers, soils reports, mechanical, plumbing, electrical. This includes all your permits. This is everything. I only have to give you 5% and I can build multifamily. I have 40 deals waiting for you. And after I called him out on his bull, oh, by the way, he gave my client a sheet, which was like a final closing statement from some deal he probably found on Google. And it showed like the price of the property, how much they invested, how much they pulled. And in saying that, there was no name on the net sheet at all. And because there was no name, I said, hey, ask him for the name on that net sheet. And he couldn't do it. He did, he was very naive. He just kind of took what they gave him and believed. And when we were in the call, the guy said, oh, you probably need to speak to the owner. I said, yeah, I probably do need to speak to the owner. He goes, okay, I'll have him call you later today. It's been 3 weeks. I still haven't heard from the owner. Total bull. But anyways, I'm finishing this up anyway. So stop listening to social media. Find an expert, somebody that knows what they're doing, and they will be able to guide you in the right direction. But somebody that knows what they're doing because they've actually done it, not just because they took a seminar, or they bought a course, or they heard from so-and-so or whatnot. You need to find someone that's actually done it. So I hope this helps you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.